How aggressive will the Bengals be this offseason in their quest to fortify their offensive line? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk. And that is a question, that we're going to get answered over the next few weeks with free agency less than a month away. It's crazy how quickly that we're getting to that point, right? And that's the thing is the Bengals. It's a very clear cut. This is what they need. If they get this, they should be really, really good. They should be a perennial Super Bowl contender for years and years and years. And so it's a no-brainer, right? Aggressively address the offensive line, address the unit that's been bad really since 2015, but was really, really bad and has been really, really bad the first 2 years of Joe Burrow's NFL career. The Bengals have a special quarterback. You got to get an offensive line in front of him. A win-now offensive line. That's how I like to describe it. Because they had win-now wide receivers, win-now weapons, a win-now defense, certainly a win-now quarterback. You know what they didn't have? A win-now offensive line. So that's something that they certainly have to address. And the question is how? How are they going to address it? Are they going to go out and spend a bunch of money? Are they going to do it via trade, which I talked about earlier this week? You need to check out that video if you haven't, on an in-depth look at Rapien Tunsil as a potential trade candidate. It's funny. On the Locked On Bengals podcast, we did our draft preview with Mike Renner of Pro Football Focus, and it's the only daily Bengals podcast. You can get it right here on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. And Mike Renner of Pro Football Focus was like, after all this draft conversation, I asked him about the 31st pick and the idea that they could trade it. And he came up with a bright idea that, you know me, I'm aggressive. I like getting deals done. I like improving rosters, improving teams. And, he certainly has an idea to improve the Bengals offensive line, not just trade for Rapien Tunsil or just sign Teron Armstead. Do both.
Unique scenario that the Bengals are in where you can sign a Teron Armstead and you can trade for a Rapien Tunsil. You can do both with the cap space they have and really fix this thing overnight. And it's something that's like Joe Burrow ruined year one with an ACL injury. Not he didn't ruin year one, but like the offensive line, the fact that he was under so much heat, ruined year one. Basically robbed them of a Super Bowl or given them any chance in the Super Bowl year two with that offensive line. So at this point in year three, with the rest of this roster as it is, you got to fix it. Like you got to do whatever it takes. And Riley Reiff ain't cutting it. One plug, one whatever. Brandon Scherf at guard ain't cutting it. You have to do some big things along this offensive line. So yeah, I am all for it with the roster that they have right now and just how glaring that issue is.
Sign me up. Sign me up for that for a few reasons. And the Bengals are going to have like $58 million in cap space. Some of that's going to go to Jesse Bates, probably with a franchise tag. You have, the rookies that are going to take up some cap space. All of these things, they're going to have the room, if they want to get creative, to get something done like this. And it sounds pie in the sky, and it is probably unrealistic that they go after Armstead specifically or make a straight up pick for a player. Maybe they, trade the 31st pick and their third rounder for Rapien Tunsil in a second rounder or something like that. They don't like to just give up picks, but to get where you want to go, to get somewhere that you've never been, you have to do something that you've never done. We've heard that, right? Well, the Bengals, they're going to have to do that. If they want to be a perennial Super Bowl contender for the first time in franchise history, because they haven't been ever in their 54 years of existence, a year in, year out, they're a Super Bowl contender. They've only won the division back-to-back times once. It was in 81 and 82. Once. They've only done it once. So now when you look at the AFC North and you feel like you have the best quarterback in the division, you feel like you have the best weapons in the division. The defense is certainly a big part of what you do. And yeah, there's little pieces that you need to add and guys you need to re-sign and all of those things. But man, to get something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done. The Bengals have a chance to do that this offseason. So to Mike's point, why not do both? Why not be ultra aggressive and fortify both tackle spots, both short and long term? And then you bring in, Jonah Williams, you move him inside, and he projects to be a damn good guard. And then it opens things up some. It opens things up some for what you do. You can find, maybe you keep a Quentin Spain, or maybe you go out and you get an average level starter like that in free agency or find him in the draft. And that's the part of it. It's going to be a balance to fix this offensive line. It can't just be one way. It might be via trade, via free agency, and the draft. But it can't just be one thing, and it certainly just can't be the draft. And that's where I come back to, and I continue to come back to. They have to do something they've never done to fix this, because they've tried to fix the offensive line. They've tried year after year after year, dating back to the 2015 draft when they prematurely thought, Andrew Whitworth, we need to draft his replacement, Cedric Ogbuehi, or as I called him, Cedric Olehi, because, get it? He can't block anybody. Jake Fisher, well, he was a tight end a few years after he got drafted and is now out of the NFL. Point being, the Bengals have gotten it wrong a lot in the draft. They still need a draft line, but they need to find the right guys, and they can do that via trade, via free agency, and to Mike's point, do both. That's going to be my motto, do both. I want a win now offensive line, and I want them to do both. So what do you want? Leave a comment. Make sure you hit that subscription button or that subscribe button, because we're going to have a live chat. Andrew and I working on a live chat where we just kind of reflect on the year, chat with you, answer your questions about the offseason and more, because it's been a whirlwind, a fun year. And we need to get Andrew in front of the camera so it's not just me. We'll be at the Combine next week, the latest there. I know Zach Taylor's going to talk. Dude Tobin's going to talk. So a lot is coming your way. So that's why you need to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for the alerts. And as always, for the in-between our videos for coverage, make sure you check out allbengals.com. For our editor, Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.